Hey, Zack Saunders here. Sorry, everything's moving super fast. I had to kind of speed up all these clips in order to make it fit in the time frame. I had the opportunity to interview an entrepreneur named David Barnett. He's the creator of PopSockets. Go check it out, popsockets.com. They're really about to take off. They're just getting like corporate and collegiate sponsorships right now, so it was really cool to interview him at a time where the company's really taking off. He's a really cool, inspiring guy. Taught me the importance of taking risks. And really believing in your idea. And he said that if you believe in something and you have a passion in it, that really you can create anything. So check out this interview.
I'm a philosophy professor at University of Colorado. Grew up in Colorado, studied some physics and some philosophy. I've been at CU for about 8 years, and God, it's been a long time now, maybe 3 years ago at least. I started having the idea of a headset management system on the back of my phone. I was tired of my headset being tangled, so I went to Joanne Fabric and stuck a big button on the back of my phone. I probably put a piece of tape on it first so it wasn't actually glued to the phone. Wrapped the headset. Didn't work because the microphone got caught on the button. So I immediately had the two-button solution. I had two buttons, separate them so the microphone would fall between the buttons. They were fixed with a little button separator, so they were spaced out a little bit. It was gigantic, bigger than current PopSockets. These huge buttons were on the back of my phone. But it worked great for headset management. My friends made fun of me a lot. Then after a few months I started thinking I should have a mechanism to make them expand farther and collapse.
Who'd you go to engineer all that?
I did it myself eventually. So I learned SolidWorks. It's a 3D, it's really fun, 3D CAD program engineering. So I learned SolidWorks, taught myself that, and just prototyped hundreds and hundreds of these. I had to find the right material to prototype it in. Found a prototyper in China that I could afford.
All right. So you would send it to them through that program?
Email them a model, yeah.
Okay.
And they'd send me back a prototype. The material's a little different from the mass production, so it's a little deceptive, but I did that, and then I had a company called Spec Design help me design the body of the case for the iPhone. When I was young, I had all these businesses, so that's why my neighbors called me H-Ross Pro, because I was a greedy little entrepreneur. So I had mixed tape businesses. I'd make mixed tapes. You don't even know what a tape is these days, but they used to have tapes. That's how you played your music. And I would make mixed tapes, come into school, sell them. I had a lawn mowing business, a bicycle business to fix bikes. I got up. It's unfortunate. It's a product whose appeal can't be appreciated until someone actually experiences it. So you can't show somebody a pop socket. You show somebody a pop socket like this who has an iPhone, and they're like, yeah, I can hold my iPhone without one of those. I don't need it. Put one on their phone for a week, I'm sure, and then they're like, I can't use my phone without it. So same with playing with it. You know, they see someone playing with it, it looks okay, but put that in their hands for a day and take it away, and they'll get real mad.
So is that tough to advertise like that?
Yeah, it's a big marketing challenge, especially retail, because if it's hanging on a rack.
Yeah.
No one's ever seen it before, unless they really start playing with it. So our new packaging allows people to play with it on the packaging. It stands. You can use grips like a phone on the packaging.
Okay. And
there's challenges. Some stores would allow us to have a little video showing somebody playing with it, sort of explaining it.
Okay. Who do you think is like PopSocket's primary target market?
It's a question we ask probably once every 10 days. I was on the phone every night with them for a year and a half, probably every single night. You hear these stories where you draw on a piece of paper like an arrow and you're like, put the handle here, just a huge drawing. And then a month later you get it and the handle's here. And you're just like, how did this happen? Like, how could it possibly happen? And it happens again and again and again. You're like, why did you do it this way? I told you not to do it this way. And anyway, now I have a supply chain company that's overseeing all manufacturing, so I don't have to deal with that anymore.
Okay.
Top of my head. So one is I would have found a supply chain partner much earlier on here in the U.S. who had employees in China to oversee the work. Someone with a lot of experience. I used a supply chain expert who used to work for Apple to identify a factory for me, but then it was just me in the factory. And it does not work unless you have people over there or you're over there at the factory.
Yep.
That would have saved me a year and a half probably of headaches and time. So that's one. You've got to be an independent problem solver. So it's got to be somebody who's not used to having problems solved by other people. So somebody who they're given a problem, brand new problem they've never solved before, and instead of asking someone how to solve it, they've got to figure out how to solve it. And it could be, like the accordion. You got to just go teach yourself a software and solve it. Packaging, you got to go teach yourself the packaging and do it, versus asking for help all the time. So independently motivated and able to solve problems. And then a big factor is confidence. I mean, you have to be a bit fearless and willing to take risks. I mean, I've spent a lot of I've spent, our savings. My wife is not happy with this. I spent our savings. Like we have no money, and I spent it all on PopSockets. So you got to be willing to gamble.
All right.
Unless once you're an entrepreneur and you've had a past record of success, then you can just raise money and use other people's money. But